Sri Gurubhyo Nama children, welcome to online project Ekalaiva. Already we are discussing about manufacturing industries. In the previous class, I gave the definition for manufacturing, I gave the significance of manufacturing, and I told how agricultural industrialization moves hand in hand, and I told about the contribution of industry to national income, and we have seen the various factors that affect the location of industries. After that, I told industrialization and urbanization move hand in hand. I gave explanation. After that, I started to define the classification of industries. We have seen the various classification of industries in the previous class. Now I am going to start about the agro-based industries. Today we are going to talk about agro-based industries. What are agro-based industries? Industries that gets raw material from agriculture. Industries that get raw material from agriculture, we can call it as agro-based industries. For example, sugar industry, cotton textile industry, and jute industry, all these are agro-based industries, because for sugar industry, the raw material is raw sugar cane, which is obtained from agriculture. For cotton textile industry, raw cotton is the raw material that is obtained from agriculture. For jute industry, raw jute is the raw material which is obtained from agriculture. So we are going to start with agro-based industries today. In that we are going to talk about three different industries like cotton textile industry, jute industry and sugar industry. Are you ready, children? We are going to see one by one in detail about the agro-based industries. So agro-based industries. So what is that agro-based industry? Actually, industries that depend on agriculture for raw materials. So what are agro-based industries? Industries that depend on agriculture for raw materials. Industries that get raw material. Industries that get the raw materials. The industries that get the raw materials from agriculture. The industries that get the raw materials from agriculture, we can call it as agro-based industries. Agriculture. So from agriculture, they will get the raw materials. So we can call it as agro-based industries. The next one, in agro-based industries, we are going to talk about the cotton textile industry. To start with, in agro-based industry, I am going to talk about the cotton textile industry. So cotton textile industry is also a agro-based industry, because the raw cotton is the raw material for cotton textile industry. The first cotton mill was set up in Mumbai in 1854. So in India, the first cotton mill was set up in Mumbai in 1854. They will be asking us one more question. Name the place where the first cotton mill was set up in India. So in India, the first cotton mill was set up in Mumbai in 1854. And the main cotton textile is located in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So this is 3 more question. They will be asking this as a 3 more question. Why most of the cotton mills are concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Gujarat and Maharashtra? That is, in and around Gujarat and Maharashtra, cotton textile industries will be greater. We can see the concentration of cotton mills in and around Gujarat and Maharashtra. There are so many reasons for the location of cotton mills in Gujarat and Maharashtra. One by one, we are going to see the reasons for their location. So the first reason is availability of raw cotton. So raw cotton availability is greater. So when you move to Gujarat and Maharashtra, raw cotton availability is greater. So raw cotton is the raw material for the cotton textile industry. So availability of raw cotton is greater, and presence of black soil. So black soil for cotton cultivation, black soil is needed. So availability of black soil or presence of black soil. So this black soil leads to the cultivation of cotton. So the first one is availability of raw cotton, second one presence of black soil, third one good transport facilities including port facilities. So we need to export the cotton textile goods to other countries. I need proper transport facilities. So proper transport facilities, good network of transport is available here in Gujarat and Maharashtra, including port facilities. So through Mumbai seaport, they can able to export the cotton textile goods to other countries. So transport systems are also greatly available and availability of labor. So we need to get the labors at cheap wages. So availability of labor is also what is that present there. So that is also one of the reason. The last one is good and moist climate. So moist climate is needed for the cultivation of cotton. So there are so many reasons for the concentration of cotton mills in and around Gujarat and Maharashtra. The first point is availability of raw cotton. So raw cotton is the raw material for the textile industry, cotton textile industry. So availability of raw cotton, that is the first point. What is the second point? Presence of black soil. So cotton cultivation is possible in black soil. So presence of black soil in Gujarat and Maharashtra. The third one, we need proper transport facilities. So good transport facilities are possible there, including the port facilities. So what they will do? Through the Mumbai seaport, we can able to export the cotton textile goods to other countries. So exports are possible through the Mumbai seaport to other countries. That is also one of the reason. The next one is availability of labor. So in and around the adjoining states of Gujarat and Maharashtra, we can get the laborers at cheaper wages. So laborers are available at cheaper wages. That is also one of the reason for the concentration of cotton mills in Gujarat and Maharashtra. The next one is moist climate, good and moist climate. So moist climate is required for the cultivation of cotton. All these are the favorable conditions that is present in the cotton growing belt of Gujarat and Maharashtra. That's why it's a 3-mark question, board exam question, repeatedly asked board exam question. They will be asking the question indirectly, that is in the inverted commas. Most of the cotton mills are concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Gujarat and Maharashtra. Give reason. Why we can able to see more cotton mills in Gujarat and Maharashtra? What are the reasons? So one by one you have to write the reasons. What is the first reason? Availability of raw cotton. So raw cotton availability is there, first reason. What is the second reason? Presence of black soil. Black soil is suitable for the cultivation of cotton. So presence of black soil. What is the third one? I told you transport facilities are, what is that, greater there. So greater transport facilities are possible there, and through the Mumbai seaport we can able to export the cotton textile goods to other countries. And what is the next one? Cheap labor facilities. Labor facilities are cheaper. So cotton mills are concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat. And what is the last one? Moist climate. So moist climate is needed for the cultivation of cotton. So all these are the favorable conditions. That's why most of the cotton mills are concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat. And when you talk about the exports, we are exporting the cotton textile goods to other countries like Japan, USA, UK, France, Sri Lanka, Nepal and other East Asian countries. Apart from our country, apart from what is that, marketing in our country, we can able to send the goods to other countries also. We are exporting the cotton textile goods to other countries like USA, UK, France and other East Asian countries. The next one, we are going to talk about the cotton textile is produced by 3 different methods in our country. Cotton textile goods are produced by 3 different methods in our country. What are they? One is handloom, the second one is power loom, the third one is mill sector. So what are the 3 different ways of producing cotton textiles? one is handlooms, the second one is power loom, the third one is mills. So in handlooms as well as in power looms and third one in mills, we can able to produce the cotton textile goods. And cotton textile industries involve ginning. There are so many different activities that are taking place in the cotton textile industry. So we can see different type of people who are carrying out different activities, who are involved in different production activities in cotton textile industries. The various activities where the people involved in the cotton textile industries are ginning, spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing, tailoring and packaging to produce ready-made garments. So there we can see different set of people who do different activities, who are involved in different types of activities in cotton textile industry, like ginning will be there, spinning will be there, weaving, dyeing, printing, and what is that, packaging. So everything will be there. So different set of people are involved in different production activities. So this slide talks about the three different types, the three different ways of producing cotton textile goods. What is the first one? One is handloom, second one is power loom, the third one is mills. What is the next one, next point, what they are telling? We can see different set of people who are engaged in different activities in cotton textile industries, like spinning, ginning, weaving, dyeing, printing, tailoring and packaging. So different types of people are involved in different production activities in cotton textile industry. The next one, we are going to talk about the status of spinning and weaving in India. What is the status of spinning and weaving in our country? So today there are nearly, so when you talk about, what is that, today when you see, there are nearly 1600 cotton and there are nearly 1600 cotton and human made fiber textile mills in the country. When you talk about our country today, we can see nearly 1600 cotton and human made fiber textile mills in our country. So when you talk about today's situation, nearly 1600 cotton mills we can see in our country, and spinning continues to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. So when you talk about, this slide talks about the status of spinning and weaving. So what is the first line? I told about the nearly 1600 cotton mills who are there situated in our country. And the next one, when you talk about the status of spinning, spinning is found to be centralized. Spinning continues to be centralized in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. So spinning was found to be centralized in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. But when you talk about weaving, weaving is highly decentralized. They wanted to provide scope for incorporating traditional skills. So weaving is decentralized because they wanted to promote the traditional skills. So usually we can see weaving activities particularly in the rural areas. People, what they will do? Weavers will be there, they will be, involved, they will be involving themselves in the, weaving activity in small domestic units, particularly in the rural areas. So weaving is decentralized because they wanted to promote the traditional skills. What are the traditional skills? Designs of weaving in cotton, silk, zari, embroidery, etc. All these are the, traditional skills. What are they? Making designs on the cotton cloth, silk cloth, zaris and involving in embroidery. All these are coming under, weaving. So it is, that's why weaving is found to be decentralized, because they wanted to promote the traditional skills. All these are traditional skills. So they can weave designs on cotton cloth, silk cloth and zaris as well as in embroidery. So even though spinning continues to be centralized in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, weaving proves to be decentralized because they wanted to promote the traditional skills in weaving. What are they? Designs which they were able to make on cotton, silk, zari and embroidery works. India has world-class production in spinning. So when you talk about our country, we have world-class production in spinning. So this slide completely talks about the status of spinning and weaving. So first we have seen that there are nearly 1600 cotton mills in our country. The next one I told about spinning and weaving. There is a difference. Spinning continues to be mechanized, whereas what is that, weaving continues to be, what is that, decentralized. Why spinning is centralized, why weaving, why it is decentralized? Because they wanted to promote traditional skills. Most of the, what is that, weaving activity, particularly it will be carried over in small domestic units in the rural areas. So they wanted to, what is that, promote the traditional skills, that is designs which were made on cotton, silk, zari and even embroidery works. And when you talk about our country, we have the world class spinning, we have world class production in spinning activity. The next one, we are going to see the various challenges to cotton textile industry. What are the various problems faced by the cotton mills in our country? What are the various challenges? What are the difficulties? What are the demerits of cotton textile industries in India? The first one is scarcity of good quality cotton. The first point what we are going to discuss is scarcity of good quality cotton. We were not able to get good quality raw cotton. There is a scarcity of, what is that, good quality raw cotton. So this is the first challenge to cotton textile industry. We were not able to get good quality raw cotton. Next one, main cotton growing area went to Pakistan during division. So when during division, what has happened, the main cotton growing regions have gone to Pakistan. So this is again another important challenge. The next one is old machinery. They have not used upgraded technology. Old machineries are used. This is also one of the challenge in cotton textile industry. What is the next one? Erratic power supply, irregular power supply. So we need power supply. So erratic or irregular power supply, which is again another important challenge for cotton textile industry. Low output per labor. So the output produced by the labor is very little, very less. Low output per labor. This is also one of the challenge of cotton textile industry. The last one, tough competition from synthetic fibers. So there is a tough competition from synthetic fibers. For example, synthetic fibers, what are the examples? We can talk about polyester, terlin. So what is that? These are the various challenges to cotton textile industry. What is the first challenge? Scarcity of good quality raw cotton. So we were not able to get good quality raw cotton, which is the raw material needed for cotton textile industry. The next one, the main cotton growing areas have gone to Pakistan during, what is that, division. The next one is old machinery, inefficient technology. They have not upgraded the technology. Old machineries were used by the mills, cotton mills. The next one, erratic power supply, irregular power supply is also again another important difficulty, another important challenge faced by the cotton textile industry. The next one is low output per labor. The output produced by the labor is very less. The next one, there are so many synthetic substitutes that are available in the market at cheaper price. So the synthetic substitutes for what are synthetic substitutes here? What we can talk about terlin, we can talk about polyester. All these are synthetic fibers which are available at cheaper prices. So when you talk about a cotton cloth, so definitely it will be greater. Is it not pure cotton? So it is the price will be greater. So what the people, what they are doing, they are moving towards the, what is the synthetic product, synthetic fibers. So when you talk about synthetic fibers, we can talk about terlin, polyester. All these are synthetic fibers which are available at cheaper prices. So people are shifting to the synthetic fibers. So they were not able to face the competition because synthetic substitutes are available at cheaper prices. So all these are the various challenges faced by the cotton textile industry. So this slide talks about the challenges, difficulties faced by the cotton textile industry. What is the first one? I talked about the scarcity of good quality raw cotton. We were not able to get good quality raw cotton. The next one, old machineries. So they have not upgraded the technology, still old machineries are used. The next one is erratic power supply. So power supply is not regular. The next one, output per labor is less. The output produced by the labor is less. The next one, I told about the synthetic substitutes. Synthetic substitutes are available in the market at low price, at cheaper price. For example, polyester, terylene, all these are the synthetic products, fibers which are available in the market at low prices. That's why people are shifting to the synthetic fibers which are available at low price. So these are the various difficulties faced by the cotton mills in our country. So up to this I am stopping today. I want everybody to go through this so that you will have a better, once again we will have a better recapitulation tomorrow. Thank you children.